So I think both of them would be amazing. I like Phaedra a lot. I think she has a great big personality. She would be fun too. So I think, yeah, there's some options. Anybody that's just not mean and a villain and just want to double down on this, everything's about me and, you guys can't happen without me. And I think that's what Kenya thinks.
I was just going to say, you're ready to work with anyone but Kenya.
Pretty much at this point, yeah. She makes it pretty hard.
Do you think, so like next season, you're back?
Stay tuned this week, and it's
Really?
going to make a lot more sense after Sunday.
Everyone's going to start to say, here's the Kenya that we remember from the past.
Kenya and I go toe-to-toe. It's fun.
Really?
I just saw it, yeah.
Okay. So we've seen, listen, this is why you're not afraid to speak up. You've had an issue with Kandi. You've moved past it.
Yeah.
You're taking on all the heavy hitters.
But not intentionally. It's just how it played out. And it's just, it's unfortunate, right? Like nobody wants to, they're heavy hitters and they have fans because they've been there for years. And so, no one in their right mind goes into a situation like that and want to. But you're not going to disrespect me. You're not going to, I have a voice and I have opinions and mine are just as important as yours.
Do you think a Kandi or even what's coming up with Kenya, do you think they're shocked? Do you think Kenya was then shocked? Sure who are you? This is my
she
show.
Said that.
You're new.
I think she said something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah. Someone that's not completely broken and mean to every woman because I have deep-seated issues. That's who I am, Kenya.
Do you think there's ever, can you see a world in which you guys might, when she'll say, let's move past this?
If she decided that she wanted to do some internal, it's bigger than me. I'm just a face that represents someone that does not buy into her bullshit and her mean girl-ism, right? And I do talk with my hands, and she hates that about me. And I'm fun, and I have a big personality, and I have a high-pitched voice, and I love all that stuff about me.
It's who you are.
I grew up with a very strong mother who loved, supported, nurtured me, a father, so I'm very confident in who I am, right? Flawed from every which way possible,
right?
But very confident and always had safe spaces to, talk and voice my opinions and my feelings. And I've always supported the underdog. I just like the underdog.
I like an underdog.
And so
I will always like an underdog.
That is who I am.
Me too.
Just seeing the way she handles production and we just aren't for each other, right? And I think it's mean, and I think there's something deeper than me there, and maybe if she works on that, then it's never too late. I don't take anything too serious either. I don't take myself that serious, right? So to me, I go home, I don't even think about it, right? It's, I talk to my sister, I'm like, so this happened today, and you're not going to believe this, and, I pray and I go to bed, and I'm like, let it rock. It's over now. This is not going to end my life.
What do you think it is? Just what? She's just so hurt, from Mark, Daily, the divorce.
I think, we should ask my daughter because she has 2 degrees in psychology, but I think psychology 101 is that you project sometimes when you're broken and you're triggered in situations, right? And so I think for her, from the first time I met her, Shereé introduced us, she was cold to me at the party before Kenya and I got into it. Before Kandi and I got into it. Then after we got into it, we sat in this little circle and Kenya tried to dismiss me, but that didn't happen, obviously. So she's just constantly like a gnat. You ever had a gnat get in your eye?
Yeah.
And it's just super annoying and you just kind of ignore it and then you ignore it and then finally you're like, okay, let me handle the gnat. Because it's not going to go away, unfortunately. So you're going to see me handling the gnat. And it's life.
Did you learn anything about yourself from this experience?
Yeah, I did. What did I learn the most? I learned that I really don't like people that are mean to people in positions that can't necessarily fight back or speak for themselves, right? which I've always known that, but it really just irks at me. A lot of things I let rock, and I'm pretty even keel because I just like to be happy and jovial and kind of like, you know, the way that I am. That bothers me quite a bit. And I also think it's interesting how you've got a group of friends, frenemies, with really strong personalities, but so many followers. Like, I feel like there's several women, and I'm not going to say who, but they just kind of go with the flow because of who's saying something, even if that doesn't align with their values and their morals. It's like, oh, it's Kenya. It's just Kenya being Kenya. No, that's not really okay. Like, why is that okay? Like, what does that mean? That doesn't work in the world.
Right.
You know? And so I wish, how does that affect me? Then I felt like a lot of times I interjected myself probably when I didn't necessarily need to. But I don't like that. Yeah.
I always go for an underdog,
especially with Marlo.
Yeah. You become very good friends with Marlo.
Yeah, and I just felt like Marlo, it wasn't like that in the beginning. Like, we built a friendship, but I just felt like Marlo came and showed up every day wanting to be positive and wanting to do her job. And I just felt like she was sometimes met with just, I'm going to make it miserable for you.
It's going to be one hell of a reunion.
It is.
Anything else I didn't cover that you promote? You know, you promote whatever you would like now. The jewelry line, like,
so I have to do that.
Do not be shy.
I am not going to be shy. So my life passion
we like a plug at the end.
Yeah, no, for sure. So my dad was a welder. He was actually blue collar. My mom has a master's degree. So I grew up in a family with the mom that was very not blue collar and a dad that was blue collar, and I'm a daddy's girl. So he taught me how to weld pretty early on because I was just in his shadow.
Wow.
And so I started making jewelry pretty young. Like, my dad could make and weld anything.
Really?
And so he taught me how to play with mixed metals and stuff like that. So I always was just obsessed with jewelry and would create pieces for myself, my friends, my family. And then my grandfather used to have a pocket watch that he would always walk around with, right? And so, you know, a compass, most times they're attached to compasses and they point north. And so I created this beautiful jewelry line in 2020 on, you know, as I'm going through divorce, and I'm like, who am I? How do I want to spend the rest of my years? And that's the thing that I feel like I was born to do. Like, I sketch all the time, and I had like years of jewelry sketches. And so I created this beautiful line. It's called Courtney Rhodes. It's probably going to be carried in a department store near you in the spring. Like, we're working on finalizing some things, but it's very bold, kind of like inspired like by old vintage Chanel, like really thick,
I like
standout statement pieces. But then it's married with very feminine things like a compass because it points north. So anytime you feel lost in the world, your internal guidance tells you to just go north. So everything we need is inside, right? And then a dragonfly, because it's like the oldest insect. I don't know if you know that. And it has like this transformation period like a butterfly, but it's less intense. So dragonflies are born in the water. And then if they make their transformation, they fly. And so they're also a very statement element in the brand. The magnolia, because I grew up in South Carolina. After my family left Baltimore when I was young, we went to South Carolina, and magnolia is just big and fluffy and very beautiful, strong aroma. And then a rope. The rope, you'll see a lot of ropes within the line, which just represents interconnectivity, like everything is interwoven and we're all kind of connected. So that's kind of the brand story. I'm excited. I'm 10 toes down on it. I wore the jewelry collection throughout. You guys may have seen me with a dragonfly and big chunky pieces in my confessional. It's all Courtney Rhodes.
I like a good dragonfly.
Thank you. And thank you for